I talk to a lot of businesses, and what they're experiencing is just this uncertainty. This uncertainty is very persistent right now. People are still feeling the effects about tariffs, high costs, revenues not increasing. Revenue, quite frankly, is flat collectively when you look at the trend lines, if you will. Business confidence is relatively middle of the road. It's not high, it's not low, it's in that mid-range range. So I'm sensing a lot of uncertainty for these businesses, and they're trying to figure out, again, navigate these charted waters. I think when the president came in office, there was, believe it or not, some optimism in that space, but now that several months into his second year of his second term, the optimism has really kind of gone down.
Yeah. We talk about this each year about how people ought to kind of approach these short-term conditions with an eye toward the long term, right? You don't want to make rash decisions that don't put you in the right position for when things get better. So let's talk about what some of those things are. Like, how do you react to the negative numbers that we're all seeing now without overdoing it in a way that doesn't put you in a position to benefit?
And that's the hard balance right there.
Yeah.
And so I think short term, what businesses need to do is to go back and retrench. Look at your current plans, look at your current financials, make sure that you're on solid ground. All right. Look at your revenue projections. Look at your diversification opportunities. Can you diversify your income streams? Don't just sit still. Now is not the time just to sit still. Work with partners, identify larger businesses and other smaller businesses that can become a partner of yours. Because right now the challenge is, if you sit still in today's economy, we can't predict the future. We don't know what's going to happen. I can also tell you that there's a 30 to 40% chance, according to various economists across the country, that there could be a recession this year.
Recession,
an actual recession. The good news is that's only 30 to 40%. Right? The bad news is that there's an opportunity that can still happen. Right. So you have to continue to navigate those challenges and make sure you go back and retrench and get your foundational principles, as well as get your plan and your financials.
Yeah. The one part of the economy that is doing very well is the stock market. I mean, investments are doing extremely well. Now, most Americans are not participants in the market, but a lot of businesses are. And certainly wealthier individuals are. But how do you make or take advantage, I guess, of that part of the economy while also trying to sort of pull up the rear in the sort of core part of your business?
So let me also want to just say this: that 50% of the American public is not in the stock market.
Not in the stock market at all.
Not at all. So they're not seeing that benefit of the stock market boom that you're seeing right now.
Right. Every day I am getting a text message or an email from a bank or some other kind of lender trying to give my business money, trying to say, and I think they're looking at the same things we're looking at. If revenue's down, costs are up, you might need cash. But of course, that's a different kind of cash than revenue, right? You got to pay it back. It's adding to the bottom line. What kind of counsel do you give small businesses about a restructure at this point that includes borrowing to get through what, if it's a shorter term kind of slowdown, maybe that is that bridge that you need. Talk about that versus cost discipline, spending discipline, and the other things that you could do.
That's a great question. I counsel business owners by saying, look at your financials. What is your business plan? What's your long-term objective? So yes, those banks are coming after you right now to try to give you some type of funding, but you want to be careful. Let's understand there are two types of funding opportunities. There are quite a few, but two most famous ones, for lack of a better phrase. One is taking a loan. So a bank will give you a short-term loan, a longer-term loan. The challenge with that is what? You have to pay it back.
Yeah.
You have to pay back the interest, so therefore your costs will go up. It affects your bottom line. It affects your revenue and your overall profitability. There's another opportunity, though, a grant. We talked about that before.
We've talked about that before.
A grant you do not have to pay back. A grant is from an organization that's simply providing you with revenue so that you can scale your business, that you can address the outstanding challenges. The only catch, and I just say that respectfully, is that you still have to demonstrate how you're going to spend that money,
Right.
what the return is going to be. Not necessarily the business return, but what is the grantor getting for the resources they're giving to you. So to answer your question, in a nutshell, is look at your financial position, look at what your short-term and your long-term needs are, look at your costs, and make sure you make the decision based on the financial opportunities that you have for yourself and for your business.
Yeah.
Watch One Detroit, Thursday at 7:30 p.m. You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.